Hi, this is Alex Helmbrecht, the Sports Information Director at Chadron State College, and I'm sitting here this morning with Chadron State head football coach Bill O'Boyle. The Eagles had another tough loss at the beginning of the season, this time dropping a 49-42 decision to Angelo State. It was during the Family Day festivities at Chadron State. For all intents and purposes, though, Coach, I mean, it was an exciting game, I'm sure, for fans and people who weren't close to the program. A lot of big plays in the story. After the game, I wrote about how there were a lot of highlights. Angelo State just happened to make the last one.
Yeah, we just made some dumb mistakes all the way throughout the game that really hurt us. And Angelo's a good team. We just beat ourselves in a lot of situations, and that's what ended up costing us.
There were 23 combined penalties, as Coach said, for a staggering 200 yards. It's been a long time since I've seen the Eagles have over 100 yards of penalties. Was that more just the fact of mental mistakes, or were the refs just calling the game kind of tight?
No, I thought the officials did a nice job, and we made some crucial mistakes at the wrong times. And just like you said, Alex, anytime you have the way we look at it, anytime we're over 65, 70 yards in penalties a game, you're looking at not winning that game. And you look at 115 yards or 113 yards in penalties, what we had on Saturday, I mean, you're really cutting back on your chances to come out with a win. So, I mean, that's what happened. And we look at two things after every game. My biggest thing is your penalties and your turnovers. We need to be +2 on turnovers every game, and we were -1. And I don't know what we are on the season, but it's you don't fumble 4 times, lose 4 fumbles, and have 115 yards in penalties and win a game.
Yeah, Coach. In 2 of those fumbles, Angelo State had the fortune to return back for touchdowns, and really is the one in the fourth quarter that kind of spurred their comeback. DJ Colo, a linebacker from Angelo State, just ripped the ball out of a CSC ball carrier's hand and ran it back for 32 yards, and then basically after that, Angelo just became unleashed, scoring 21 straight points and scored the winning touchdown on a 26-yard pass with 24 seconds to go. In that fourth quarter, Angelo outgained the Eagles 237-67, but actually for the game, and it was, Coach, actually the second straight game where your offense has done more than the other team's offense, just the plays weren't made at the end.
Yeah, we feel pretty good about some of the things we're doing right now. Offensively, but look at the fourth quarter, and we visited with the kids extensively yesterday in film sessions about we've got to be able to finish. We've got to be able to keep drives at the end of the game and give our defense a blow. And the way the scoring went on Saturday, our defense was they didn't get much of a blow. We scored some quick ones. We had a kickoff return, and on a hot day like that. We're always wondering about, what type of shape we're in. But, yeah, I visited with the seniors here about an hour ago. We always meet on Monday morning. And, we're not going to change what we're doing. We've done well in the past. We've been very successful with what our staff does defensively and offensively. And we're not hitting any panic button at all. It's just a matter of not beating ourselves. And that's what we've been having problems with.
There certainly were plenty of highlights. Probably the biggest one came from Nathan Ross, a sophomore from San Diego, had 289 all-purpose yards. As Coach mentioned, he ran a kickoff 94 yards back for a touchdown, and then had 159 receiving yards, including a 73-yard touchdown. He also had a really long reception that had a potential to go in for a touchdown there in the second quarter. Coach Nate Ross just continues to impress this year. He's got 17 receptions, and he's well over 300 yards on the season.
Nate's got more talent than he even realizes, and he's still young, being a sophomore. He's immature at times, which showed. He had 45 yards in penalties himself. So we visited with that quite a bit yesterday, and even pulled him in after the team meeting and had a long talk with him. And he knows. I mean, nobody feels worse than Nate about some of the decisions he made. But talent-wise, he's a guy that can do a lot of things for us, and we've just got to overcome that immaturity and keep working with him. And he's going to be a great player for us, and he's a big factor in what we do offensively this year.
The guy getting him the ball, sophomore quarterback John McClain, his Chadron product, had another good game, 19 for 29, threw for over 300 yards, and that was actually his first 300-yard game and 3 touchdowns. So John did a nice job there directing the offense. Phil Rivera returned an interception, 55 yards for a touchdown in the first quarter that gave the Eagles a nice lift. And then really kind of a feel-good story. Michael Madkin scored a touchdown at the beginning of the fourth quarter on a 25-yard run. He's been here as a redshirt freshman, went through some tough things, but came back, and I know everyone associated with the program was very happy to see that.
Yeah, Mike's been through a ton, and he's special to this program, and it's a miracle he's still here and doing what he's doing. He's back in school and doing a nice job, and Mike's been through a lot, so seeing him have success on Saturday was special for all of us, and he's a very explosive back and do a lot of good things. He's just tiny, and that's something he takes advantage of sometimes, and like against Mary, it hurt us on the goal line because he is that small when a corner can knock him down, and but he's really doing a nice job, and he's a guy that after Dominic's injury, we're really going to have to rely on this weekend.
Coach, I know the loss stings a lot, but probably the biggest story coming out of the game was, as you mentioned, the injury to Dominic Morris, who suffered a head injury, had to go to the Scottsbluff Hospital and underwent a surgery, but everything went successful. And I just spoke with Don Watt, the athletic trainer, this morning, and he said he should be released from the ICU today.
Yeah, I visited with Dom this morning and his father, and he is getting released from the IC unit. They're putting him in a regular room. I think it's probably going to be another day or two before they release him from the hospital. We're just thankful that he's going to be fine. Especially what he experienced. In my coaching career, I've never seen anything like it. So I mean, it's something you don't wish on anybody. But the biggest thing is he's going to be fine. He's going to be healthy. It's going to take some time, when you have a surgery like that on your brain and they remove part of your skull to relieve the pressure and things like that. I mean, that's obviously some serious stuff, and we're fortunate that we had our firemen that were right there on the sideline came right down and did a great job. The hospital, with the new hospital and having that CAT scan there and everything else, they were able to find the bleeding right away. And, of course, the blood clot was found down as soon as he got to Scottsbluff, and they went right in. So everything went well, and everything went right, and there's a lot of situations where one guy could have missed something or this or that, and he'd have been in trouble, So we thank God that everything turned out fine.
Yeah, I know you and I have talked a lot this year, quite a bit. You have to remind yourself that there's things that are a lot bigger than football, and frankly, we're 2 weeks into the season, and we've been reminded that several times already.
Yeah, it seems to hit me right in the face every morning, and that's, this is in our whole staff, in as many years as we've been coaching, I don't think we've ever been through this much this early or through a whole season. I don't even remember going through a whole season where we've had this many things pop up, and it's it's a credit to our kids to go out and play the way they have, and the guys that have stepped up that you don't count on. That at Division II, that's the difference between 1AA and D1, and as far as the divisions go, Division II, you're not going to be too deep in a lot of positions, and right now we've got guys that not necessarily would be your projected starters that have to go. And they've done a nice job responding. All of our kids have pulled together, and who's ever out there, I know they're going to play hard.
Well, the nice thing about being in the middle of the football season, it gives you something to continually focus on. And the Eagles have another game this Saturday, open Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference play at Western State. That's a 1 p.m. kickoff. Both teams enter the game 0-2 on the season, but really 0-0. Opening up the RMAC, the non-conference games, yeah, it stinks to lose those, but really the biggest goal is to win the conference championship. Both teams have obviously a chance to do that at being 0-0 on the season. It should be an interesting game for you. You have a lot of, as Coach Auer jokingly refers to as your sons, Tony Case and Jazz Baines on the Western State staff. Tony Case is, of course, the offensive coordinator. Jazz Baines, who was a longtime special teams coordinator and DB's coach here, is the head coach. He's the first-year head coach. So I'm sure it'll probably be a little different looking at your buddies across the sideline.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one. I dread this game, to be honest with you. I mean, you have Jazz Baines who really helped put us on the map. I mean, he's the reason why we won 3 years, went undefeated, and did what we did, and went in the playoffs and this and that. I mean, he's an unbelievable coach. So it's going to be tough, between him and, of course, Tony Case, graduate assistant for us for 2 years, and came back and volunteered for us and spent a lot of time here. Mike Imoni, their D-line coach, started guard for me. Just a great kid, GA'd for us. Ryan McDonough, their quarterback coach, GA'd for us and spent 2.5 years with us, and unbelievable coaches. It's a shame you see those guys leave our program, and now it's a shame that we got to face them, so they know a lot about us, and again, it's going to be great after the game because I don't have to worry about playing them. I don't have to, and we can visit about everybody else in the league after that. So we'll see.
Western's kind of had a tough start to the season. They lost to Angelo State 35-12 in their home opener on September 3rd, and then last Saturday they lost to Idaho State 44-7. So far, the Mountaineers are having a hard time getting their offense going. They're averaging just a shade under 200 a game. And giving up almost 500 a game offensively to the opponents. So, Coach, I'm sure that Jazz has a few wrinkles thrown in there just because of his understanding of the scheme. But what do you expect from them?
They are night and day compared to what they have been in the past. Their team right now is their kids are believing in what they're doing. Like I told our kids yesterday in our film and our staff, they are a young us is what they are, and that's what Jazz is instilling in them is, some tradition. Those guys play hard, they work hard together. They're not going to quit. And I'm not saying anything about the staffs before. I know Stu was a great coach and did a great job there, and some of the guys they've had in the past. But right now, those kids are going to play 4 quarters. They're going to play every down, lights out. And that's a credit to what they're doing down there. So it's just a matter of time before they turn the corner, and hopefully it won't be this week. So we've got to go down, and our kids understand it's a different type of team. And they're going to hit you in the mouth every down if they can.
All right, Coach. Well, best of luck to you in your RMAC opener. It's at Western State on Saturday, and that's a 1 p.m. kickoff. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Mike.